Hello everyone, welcome to the January vlog. As I've said in other videos, and it always turns out completely opposite to what I say, I really don't know what's going to happen in this month's vlog. It's January, it's quiet, not much is happening. I really don't know what we're going to be able to film and do. I do have a couple of things I need to actually do in the shop, which we will get into once I am down there. I am at home at the moment. I am actually cutting out a sewing pattern. This is something I have not done since I was in high school, I think. Yeah, it must have been high school. I have sewn for a long, I can't even tell you when I first started sewing. It was before primary school. Not primary school, that would have been ridiculous, sewing at 5 years old. It was before high school, because I remember getting into high school home economics and I was way ahead of everyone else in the home economics class when you used to sew aprons and pillowcases and placemats, and I was the placemat was new to me because that had bias binding on it, but doing aprons and pillowcases, that was child's play to me. I had my pillowcases done up in the one sort of half an hour class while everyone else was still doing their hems. And my teacher just didn't know what to do because, yeah, to me the pillowcase was like zoom, 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 done, there you go. Do I pass? So I have actually been sewing since before I was in high school, and I actually did start off sewing my own clothes. It was at a time when it was actually cheaper to sew your own clothes than to actually go out and buy them. These days it's not as cheap. The price of fabrics and stuff have really gone up. And sometimes the quality of the fabrics aren't always there either. But for the last couple of years, I've been really, really struggling to find the type of tops that I like to wear. They just have not been in season. So I decided to have a look at what sort of clothing patterns were out there to see if I could actually make my own. And I actually did come across two patterns that I really liked. And this is one of them. I only really ever like simplicity patterns for some reason, but this was one of them. I'm going to have a go at making this top here. It's nice and long, or I can even make it longer if I don't feel it's long enough. It's got the nice little cap sleeves on it without too many frills, which frills seem to be the in thing this year. I'm not a 5-year-old girl that needs to wear frilly sleeves and stuff. So I've just been really, really struggling to find the tops that I really like to wear, and I really do need to replace all the tops in my wardrobe because a lot of my old ones have either got oil stains on them, or they're too big, or they've got pepper holes, and so I really, really need to start replacing some of the tops. So I've decided I was going to have a go at sewing my own tops and see how I go. So I'm just cutting out my patterns right now. Now, for anyone that does sew, I know the rule or the theory of cutting your patterns bigger than the size that you actually need, so you can always use your patterns for different sizes. But being that I have not sewn for so long, I have decided just to cut my pattern at the size I want it, and it wasn't that expensive. It was only $8 for the pattern, so if I do ever want to make it a bigger size, I'll just go in and buy another pattern sort of thing, and then keep this one at the size I'm cutting it. These days I do tend to do a lot more, I don't even know what you call it. I do a lot of quilting. When it became too expensive to make clothes, I actually started doing quilting, and now I make a lot of like the heat packs, which I'm making at the moment. I do scrunchies, my clip balm holders. I want to get into making some bags and stuff like that. So I have sewn for such a long time, and the sort of machine that I'd love to find one of the machines that I learned to sew on. It was my mum's sewing machine, and it was a Toyota 7001. And I was actually looking at them the other day online. They're actually now classified as a classic or a vintage machine. But it was the type of sewing machine where to get your little patterns, other than zigzag and straight stitch, to get the patterns that you can get on some sewing machines, like you get little tulips and that sort of thing, you used to have to drop cogs into this machine, and as the cog went round, it pushed the needle into the direction that it needed to go. It was an amazing machine, and it didn't take me long to actually kill my mum's machine because it was not used to as much work as I put it through. But that was the sort of machine I learned to sew on, and it was really nice. These days I actually have a professional quilting machine because that's what I do the most of. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. But we're not going to talk, I'm not going to make my channel into a sewing channel. As you can see, I've got this massive stupid thing stuck to me. I have a brand new camera. I finally got this brand new camera I've been talking about. It's taken me 2 years to save for it. I've been saving all my Christmas and birthday money for the last couple of years. And this year I was only a tiny amount off, and I thought rather than waiting another year, I'm just going to put the money into it myself from out my savings account. And I went and bought myself a DJI Pocket 3 camera, and oh, I'm really looking forward to doing this vlog and seeing what this camera can actually do. It has been designed specifically for people who do vlogging, though you can actually use it for other things as well. And it's like, I don't even know how to, it's just so good. Everything that I've done on it's so good. I'll have to see if I can get the other camera out at some point and actually show you what it looks like. Let me go do that right now. I've got about 10 minutes before I need to leave home. Alright, so this is my old camera. It is a Panasonic 4K camera, and I have absolutely loved this. I've actually had 2 of these over the last few years. I really love it. So easy to use. You know, it's got the screen that flips around so I can see what it's filming. It's just been a really good little camera. I must admit, after a short time of having this camera, I actually did drop it. Well, I didn't drop it. The tripod tipped and the camera smashed onto the bench top, and I think I broke the mic in this. The mic's I've never been able to plug a mic into this one, which is a real shame. But this is my new camera. So this is the DJI Pocket 3, and I absolutely love it. It is so compact. It fits in the hand nicely. I've actually got the spare battery pack and the little tripod on here right now. But what I absolutely love about this camera is that this is the camera up here and here's the screen. So at the moment I've got the camera facing us, but I can actually just touch the button and the camera points the opposite way. So you still get the same amount, like the same quality of image, because you're not going from forward to backwards facing cameras like you do on a mobile phone. So absolutely loving that. We can also set it so that it tracks things. Like I can, let me tap down here. If I move my hand, let's see if it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. Let's exit that, see if we can get it to, if we tap that, if I move the camera, it should actually, so I'm still actually learning what's going on. There it goes, active tracking. And as we move, the camera actually moves with us, and it's a lot smoother to actually do it that way. The other thing is I really wanted this camera to help me with reels, because I can actually flip this way, and it does actually, if I wasn't already filming, it would actually then do me a portrait video, and it's really handy for doing things like reels on Instagram. See, it's still actually tracking me as I go around here. So it's really good what it actually does, and I'm so looking forward to using this camera. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, I've been saving up for it for the last couple of years. It's only been out for about 2 years, this particular camera, but so far the things I've been doing on it have been really good. I'm about to start editing a lot of the videos that I already have on here, so you'll start seeing these ones coming out very soon. We'll get that camera out of the way. This is still tracking me. I don't know if I can... Oh, let's go like that and we'll take the tracking back off, hopefully. Yes, we've taken the tracking off. Now, a few of you did say on the last vlog, let me turn the camera around. You did say how much you missed Pepper. Here's the other good thing about this camera. You can see I'm walking along. It's nice and stable, not too shaky. Absolutely love it. Are you chewing my chair? Or are you chewing your feet? We don't want you chewing your feet, darling. No, that's your dew claw. No, we don't want to chew. Well, here's Miss Pepper for all of you that missed her. She is now 8.5 months old. She's about 23 kilos. We've had her to the vet. We had her yesterday and the week before. She's got a little bit of an ear infection, which has actually now all cleared up. The vet seems to think she is very sensitive to a lot of the plants in our garden. So we are slowly going through and ripping as many of the plants out as we possibly can. Pepper, that's not what people want to see. Excuse me. That's not what people want to see from you. But yeah, she's she's in that Tyrannosaurus Rex phase at the moment where we don't listen to anything we want. She chews everything. She digs everything. But every day she makes us laugh. That's my thumb. She actually doesn't chew. Like, she's not actually biting when she's doing that. It's one of those, some dogs do it. They just kind of nibble a little bit. And sometimes she just sits and she just has your finger in her mouth and she doesn't chew or anything. She just puts it in her mouth and then she goes to sleep. She's such a funny little thing. But anyway, it is about 8:05, so I actually really need to go and get my stuff together. A lot of people have gone back to work this week, so the traffic is going to be probably horrendous on my way in. But we're going to go into work. We're going to go and see what we've got to do. I just need to put some heavy weights on top of the patterns that I've started to cut in here so that they don't blow off during the day. And I'll see you down the shop in just a moment. Oh dear, guys, I have just walked into the shop and I have just burst out laughing. The girls next door must wonder what's going on. I've literally just walked in and I could see a council worker outside. I could hear the sign rattling and stuff. I could see a council worker outside. Let me get this camera turned around. They have, it's hard to see from this sort of distance and through my dirty windows, but they've just installed this new sign. It's like a core flute sign on the parking sign out there. A little while ago, the council swapped the parking meters out the front from relatively user-friendly parking meters to some new fandangled technological advanced thing. And it's so funny, I stand here, I can see one of the meters across the road and you can see everyone standing there looking at it, scratching their heads and trying to work it out. And I get so many people coming into my shop going, do you know how to use the parking meters? And not being funny, no, I don't. I don't, because I actually don't have to use them whenever we come into town. We always park my car underneath because I've got the free parking. So I've actually not had to use the new parking meters outside, but young and old struggle with these parking meters. And it looks like someone's now actually complained to the council. It says how to use the parking meters, and it says, what has it got on there? It's a huge sign. I can actually read it without getting too close. It says, wake up the meter, enter the vehicle registration, choose payment method and make payment, get a receipt if you want one. It's just so funny. And then there's lots of like little things underneath it, really breaking down each step. So clearly these parking meters, people have either been getting fines because they can't work them out, or council are just over getting all those requests. Anyhow, let me get, I've brought in a big basket of stuff over here. I'm going to get all of that unpacked and then we'll have a look at our day. I have been starting to get on with the day. I have just gone and picked an order for Nancy with some soaps. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. So we've got the right amount of items in here. I've also just gone around and done a quick look at what needs to be made. Normally I do this on a Sunday, but this Sunday when I closed the shop up, I was so excited because I was meeting Ellie and George. Ellie from Ellie's Everyday. I have actually met Ellie once before. We were actually discussing that. It was way back in COVID, the first time we met, and I was still at markets. So I have met Ellie before, but she came up with George from Dawn Organics, and it was the first time I'd met George. And he was up here on a holiday. He was catching up with Ellie, and Ellie said, let's drive up to the coast, go and see Keely. He could, come and see a couple of things up here as well. And so they came up here and we went and had some lunch, and we chatted and we laughed and we had such a great afternoon. It was so wonderful to finally meet George in person, and Ellie is lovely as well. And both of them, like, people talk about people being real on camera. I can tell you what you see on camera is pretty much what you are getting when you meet them. Except for Ellie's got a wicked sense of humor. She really, really does. And George is super tall. I had to bring that up. Sorry, George. I actually really noticed, because my husband's tall. He's just under 6'4". I think he's like 6'3¼ or something like that. So he is tall. And if you've seen photos of us together, you can see he is taller than me. So generally when people are tall, I don't particularly notice because I'm always around hubby. And then a number of my nephews tower above me as well. So I don't generally notice when people are tall because it's natural to me. But I do notice when people are taller than hubby, and George is taller than my husband. So it was the first thing I said to him when he walked through the door. I was like, oh my gosh, you're tall. But otherwise they are both lovely, lovely people. I just don't know what else to say. It was really, really nice to actually spend the afternoon with them. But because of that, I didn't get round to doing my usual sort of Sunday afternoon things because I was excited about meeting up. So this morning what I've just done is gone round using my wonderful, wonderful planner from off of Wicked Lee. I have just noted down everything that I actually do need to do this week. I actually do need to make a big batch of my lavender soap and my black raspberry vanilla soap because they're pretty low in stock, and they're the one items I actually do wholesale, and I like to be able to put my wholesale orders out as they come in and not make them wait 4 weeks for a soap to cure. So I try and always make sure I've got a decent amount there. So I do need to do those. I've noticed that my Midnight Masquerade beard oil, there's only one of those left, so I do need to make some of those. I want to work on a new foot cream, and I also have a foot spray recipe I've been meaning to bring out for ages, and I'm thinking I really need to bring that out now while it's hot and people's feet are hot, so I want to have a go at that. And also I'm bringing out a new product in February. We're bringing out some perfume rollers and solid perfume, so I want to make those up this week so we can get the photos taken and get them on the website ready for a February launch. So I've just written those all down in my sort of idea dump area, and then over the week I'll start actually putting them into each day of when we're going to do them. I also have to finish a video I was doing on Sunday. I'm starting to do some things using natural colorants. So I have got a video coming out with doing some oil infusion colors. So I need to actually finish filming that and get all these actually put away. I also have this big basket of stuff I need to do something with. This is actually my ebook. I brought it down with me today. I have this thing that every once in a while I decide I want to read a classic. I have a very eclectic mix of books that I like to read. Everything from fantasy to history to psychological thrillers and all that sort of stuff. All sorts of books on here. The only things I don't tend to read are your true Mills and Boons love stories. I don't like them, and I don't really like sci-fi in terms of Star Trek-y sci-fi. I don't mind a little bit of sci-fi, but it has to be the right sort. But every so often I decide I need to read a classic. So I've done things like I've read Frankenstein, Dracula, those sort of big books like that. They're probably not classics to some. I don't like books like Pride and Prejudice. We did that in high school. Hated the book. Will never read another Jane Austen book in my life because I hated it so much. So I don't read those sort of classics. But the latest one I decided to have a go at, because there was a lot of quiz questions lately, was the book 1984. So I decided, I actually found it on my Kobo thing for 99 cents. I thought, well, for 99 cents, we'll read a classic. And it's actually just starting to get really, really interesting. I think I'm into, chapter 5 I'm into now, and it's just starting to really pick up a bit of pace. So I brought that down with me today because it was very interesting. What else have I got in my mystery basket? The other thing I've got in here, I've actually been sent a new Munbin thermal printer. There is nothing wrong with my old thermal printer. I use it every day. It is still going really good. But they did reach out to me and asked if I wanted to have a try of their Bluetooth printer. And this is actually something I was looking at a couple of months ago to actually purchase. Because of where I've got my Munbin printer underneath the counter over there, to have it connected to the printer, it can, and this is not a bad thing on Munbin because it's not Munbin's fault, this is how I've had to set my area up. It can be a little bit difficult to get in there and change all the stickers to get all the pretty decorative ones in between doing shipping labels. So I was actually looking at getting the Bluetooth ones so that I could perhaps set the Bluetooth one up on my counter here and do the decorative labels up on my counter so it's easier to change the rolls, and then leave the one that's under the computer purely for shipping labels and get that one set up a little bit better. At the moment, this is how I've got my Munbin printer set up. So I've actually got it sideways so the labels come out that way, and that was so I could access the back and change the labels, and then also put my rolls of labels on here so that they feed through really easily. If I turn the printer the other way, the label holder doesn't fit under here. So when I'm printing, it's printing out this way. And if I've got a number of labels to print out, I have to watch to make sure it doesn't all kind of backlog and get in the way. So I was thinking if I get a Bluetooth one, I can actually put the Bluetooth over on the bench, as I said, keep this one here, but actually turn it around so it comes out this way. And I was thinking then I'd be able to do like all the decorative ones from off the app on my phone and that sort of thing. I'm gonna see, they do say that you can plug the Bluetooth one into a laptop, but only via USB. But my laptop does have Bluetooth capabilities. So I'm going to see if it does work or not, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I was looking at them a couple of months ago thinking about getting one, but things have been pretty quiet, and especially January, it's that sort of time of year where you do question your decisions in life. But things have been really, really quiet. They have said that it's been a very, very quiet tourist season here this year, not nearly as many people as what we usually get through. I am basically a brand new business in the street, so it's almost like I stepped back quite a number of years, trying to build up that momentum again. So there wasn't really enough money to go spending on something that I already had that worked. So I did actually put it to the wayside, but when they reached out to me and asked if I would like to try it, I thought, well, actually, it is something I was looking at, so yes, I would like to try it. If I hadn't even thought about going for a Bluetooth printer, I don't know if I would have. I would have probably have just stayed with what I had, but I think having the Bluetooth is really going to help. So I need to have a think about what sort of video. We'll do an unboxing video on that one later as well. So as usual, the first part of the vlog is going to be a ton of talking. So let me go and get this lot put away. We're going to get this order packed, and then we're going to see where the day takes us. Oh, and it's really, really hot out there. Okay, I've got about 15 minutes before I'm due to go home. I actually really haven't done a lot today. I have got a thumper of a headache. It's the traffic out in the street today has just been chaotic. Even when hubby brought my keys back to me, he said it is chaos out there, and there's just been this constant stream of cars going up and down the street. And at one point there must have been an accident down the road, or maybe they had the road blocked for the roadworks, I don't know, but there was just nose to tail traffic. But the constant vroom vroom of these cars is just absolutely grated on my head today. The problem was there was no pedestrians, just cars. So unfortunately we've had no I've had no buying customers in the shop. I've only had 2 people coming through for a bit of a browse. You win some, you lose some. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. But because I have got this headache, I didn't do too much. I did get the things done I wanted to. I stocked up the beard oils. I also have the 2 soaps made I needed to do. This is the black raspberry vanilla, and the camera wants to track over there for some reason. Let's come back over this way. This one here is a lavender slab as well. So I got the 2 soaps done. And the other thing I have just done, I've taken out all of my soap colors. I finished that bit of the video off, but as part of the video, I also want to show what these colors are going to look like in soap. I was going to fill the oil tank, but I don't have enough coconut oil with me down here, so I'll bring some in tomorrow. So instead, I just poured off a small batch of oils and made up a small batch of lye water, so that tomorrow I will actually make some test batches of all of these colorants to see what they are like. But as I said, it's not long until I get to close the door up and go home. For tomorrow, I filled out, so basically I take all the things that I put on my little dump page over on this side, and then I fill them out on the days. Tomorrow, providing that this headache has disappeared, I will fill that oil tank up, so I'll bring some coconut oil with me down tomorrow. I'm going to make my foot spray. We're going to put on the Sweet Darkness hair mask. I got an order that had 3 of them in, so I've now actually only got 1 on the shelf, so I need to make those. And then the next thing I want to start actually working on are these perfume rollers. I've been putting them off and putting them off. It's the photography that makes me put off making products. I hate doing the photos, so I put off making stuff so I don't have to do photos. But we're getting to the end of the month, so I actually need to make them. They're not going to take me very long to make the perfume rollers, so I'm going to make those tomorrow as well. So I'm just going to go and twiddle my thumbs for 5 minutes before closing up the door and then heading home for the night. Good morning guys, we are down the shop. I'm running late today. I was editing your video and it was like, I've just got a little bit more. I'll be fine, I got a little bit more, and then I looked at the clock and went, oh no, I'm gonna be late. So I did actually manage to edit all of yesterday's footage so that tomorrow I can do today's footage. I do try and do it in the morning so that I can then actually see what I spoke about the day before, so I'm not repeating myself on the next day, because I do know I have done that a lot in the past, so that's my sort of thing of trying to stop it. I did notice while I was doing that editing that the sound off the microphone wasn't coming through. What should happen when I turn the camera on and turn the mic on, they should actually automatically sync, and they clearly weren't. So I've just had a bit of a look in the settings, and I've managed to actually get that automatic connection happening. So hopefully we're going to get some better volume again while I'm wearing this chunky thing on here. I still have this headache this morning, and I can hear someone's doing some drilling and jackhammering out there, so that's not helping the situation. I'm debating whether or not to keep my door open with that sound thing. Usually when I get these headaches, they last for 2 or 3 days, and Nurofen does diddly squat to actually help get rid of them. So it's kind of one of those things, trying to keep that peace. And another thing, they're not migraines I get, but I do actually find reducing the light helps as well, which I can't do in here. There is a whole heap of light coming in through the windows. So I think this one might last for a few days. We'll see how we go. But it is what it is. I've learned to work through them. I did bring down some apricot kernel oil in my big 5-litre container because I used almost all of what I had down here. I tend to buy when I buy a new oil, I tend to buy it in a 1-litre bottle, and then I buy the 5 litres afterwards. It's cheaper per litre in a 5-litre bottle, but it's easier to pour out of a 1-litre. So once this is completely empty, I'll actually pour more apricot kernel oil into this bottle and just keep reusing it that way. I also bought down some coconut oil so we can fill up the soapy tank. We will have to cut those soaps. I probably won't cut them until about lunchtime because I didn't make them until about lunchtime, so I want to give them that full 24 hours to really harden up. Though once we get the aircon really kicked in, they should start to firm up nicely. I'll probably unmold them this morning and then just let them sit unmolded, and that really helps to harden them as well. But other than that, I have an order that I need to go and print up, go and pick and do, and then we'll see how we go. As I said yesterday, depending what I'm feeling like today will depend how much we do. Like I said, these headaches I've had for ages. I just learned to work through them now. You just have to. If I don't, then I don't get anything done. I don't get any pay or anything. I don't get sick leave. So I just have to learn to work through them. It was one of the reasons I did end up working for myself, was because my PCOS, I'd have days where I couldn't actually do much, and I was having to take all this time off work, and it just wasn't good. Whereas at least, yes, I'm not feeling 100% today, but that means I can actually come in and I can really slack off if I want. I can sit here and read my book all day. You can't do that when you work in the workforce. Or I can just put my big girl pants on and just make what's on my list today, which is some foot spray, hair mask and roller perfume, and to fill the oil tank. So if I keep myself busy, I might be able to ignore it. It depends how much this outdoor noise is going to keep going on for today as to how much it drains me. But that will be the plan for today, I think. So let me go and get my order printed up, and then I'll actually print up the hair mask stuff, the formula for that, because while that is heating up, then we can move on to something else while it does that. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. Let's see what happens. I need to go and put my bags and stuff away as well because I was running late. goodness, talk about Groundhog Day. Yesterday when I was packing the first order that I did, I literally just sealed the bag up when my phone cha-chinged with another order. And I have literally just finished putting the seal on this bag. This one is for Pat. I finished sealing it up, was about to stick the thing in there, and my phone went cha-ching, and we have got an order for Samantha, which I am just about to pack. She has ordered some of our car air fresheners. She has got one of our flamingo ones, and she has also ordered the key to happiness. I found the key to happiness: stay away from idiots. So I love that one. And then she's ordered some of the scents to go with them as well. We've got black raspberry and cocoa mango to go with those. And then she's ordered our new Gonkentine soap. I absolutely love this. Don't usually get into Valentine's themed soaps. You will see the video for this one. But when I was making my little my gonks for Christmas soaps, I thought, I wonder if I made one in pink with a little love heart and just did it for Valentine's Day, what that would be like. So of course I had to give it a go, and I made them up, and Gonkentine is available now. So she has managed to get 2 into her order. So we'll get those ones packed up, and then we'll see where we go from there. The shop next door, the hairdressers have actually just turned up. They mustn't have had any early morning appointments. So I can now hear all the giggling coming through from there. I have shut my door because the drilling noise is just going through my head, and I'm hoping people will still come in. Let me get this order packed up. All right, I was just going to make up these sample soaps for this color video that I'm doing, and I was just looking at my lye water thinking it is very thick and very milky looking, which it shouldn't be. Almost like I haven't got enough water in there, and I'm sitting there thinking, no, even when I was making it yesterday, making my lye water, I'm thinking there's something not quite right about this. Now before I do that, I'm going to get one of my other bars and make sure I've got this right. I've been making some rather expensive mistakes lately, so let's just do this one bit at a time. Yes, that is the right size. It's been a while since I've made any of these slabs. So I just grabbed my lye water. I've actually just poured it into another jug, and I am right. I haven't put enough water in there. I basically made a 1-for-1 lye ratio, which is not a bad thing because I could actually use it. I just can't be bothered to do all of my calculations to work out how much lye I need to pour out, and given I'm actually testing color, I don't want another different variable in the making sort of process This is the inside of our black raspberry vanilla. This one's gonna look so nice, I think. I did this one a little bit differently. Normally, I'll put that one down out the way. Normally when I do this swirl, I just do it as a, like, pouring colour after colour after colour, and I decided on this one this time to actually put a chopstick through it as well and just get it looking a little bit different to the lavender. But yeah, I've had to add some more water into this lye solution, so it's warmed it back up to about 43 degrees, which is too hot for me to soap with. So I've just gone and popped the jug into the fridge to try and cool it down. And I thought, well, we'll get on to actually cutting up these big slabs. They are well and truly ready for cutting. So I've got my slab cutter here from off of Soap Cutter AU. That's Vinny. Oh, that one's looking really nice. Gorgeous. Can't wait to get these ones cut. This one should give me some little skinny end pieces, which will go into my basket of odds and ends. Actually, no, we've got this perfectly cut. It's one of those measurements. When I had it, when I had the mold custom made, I actually gave measurements to make sure I got 6.5 centimetre wide bars. I don't get 6.5 centimetre wide bars. It's something like 6.3 piddly little bit, and sometimes I just can't get this in the exact spot to actually get 4 perfectly even slices, and this end one usually ends up with a little skinny bit off it, but I managed to get it lined up perfectly this time. Gosh, these slabs are heavy. I forgot how heavy they are. Mind you, they do have 4.9 kilos of oil in them before you've even put in the lye and the water and the fragrance oil. So no wonder they're heavy. All right, let's get this one cut up, and then we'll go and grab Ida and we'll cut them up into some slightly smaller, more manageable size soap bars. See, this one's gonna do it. See, I get this ridiculously thin strip of soap off it. But the thing is, if I leave that ridiculously thin slice of soap on here, the soap doesn't fit in the boxes. So I have to make sure that they are exactly down to size. That's the final lavender. I'm gonna go and get Ida, put this one away, and we'll see what the swirls are like. All right, so I've got Ida. I'm actually gonna cut into the lavender one first. I'm pretty sure I did it so I got some nice chunky ends. Yes, I did. That's how long it's been since I've actually used my slab mold. I don't think I've made slabs since before I was in the Cleveland shop. So let's get these all done. I have, as I said, I've been making some really, really stupid mistakes lately. I'm kind of really over it. And last night, oh my God, some of the mistakes, well, they actually weren't mistakes. They were just amateur mistakes, I suppose you'd say. Let me take it off this way, and then you can see the swirls that we've got in here. I've been making some heat packs this year for winter. I want to bring out some new fabrics in the heat packs. Last time I made them was in 2023. And then I still had quite a few left for 2024, and so much was happening I didn't make any more. But I've decided this year I'm going to bring out some new fabrics and stuff. So I have been sewing some heat packs. Now the thing was, because it has been a couple of years since I made them, I stupidly didn't, well, I actually did write down what I was doing when I was actually creating them. So I had like a basic idea of how much fabric I needed, where to cut, all that sort of stuff. It was very, very basic. And when we moved house, who knows what happened to that list of how to make these heat packs. So I've been going through it again, and I've actually been writing them down in my new little book. And I was making the inserts where all the lupin go. I've just realised I'm covering all those swirls up. Let's bring you a bit closer there. I was making the little inserts, and yesterday morning before coming in, I had been sewing. I put little channels in mine so that the lupin stay in one place, and the heat pack is just nicer to use. And I use a water erasable pen to show me where I need to sew the channels. Now normally what I would do is get a spray bottle of water and spray the fabric to get rid of the water erasable marker, but because I had made about 50 of these things, I decided to throw them through the washing machine, and I put them on a cold wash, and then when they'd finished, they only went through on a 15-minute cycle. I then went and hung them on the line, came into work. Hubby did actually take them off the line for me when they were dry, and then last night I ironed them all flat again because they'd gone all wrinkly in the wash, and I cut all the loose threads off them, and then I went to fill one, and I got in the kilo of stuff I put, and I'm thinking this is very, very full. I struggled to sew it closed. And then I put it into the outer casing, and it was about 1 inch too short. Now I was really, really confused at this point because I had actually cut about 6 of these packs 1 inch short because I wasn't concentrating. And I thought I'd got all of these shorter ones out. And I'm thinking, well, how have I missed them? I'm pretty sure I double checked them all. And then when I went and got one of these shorter ones, which I'd put away in the wardrobe, and measured them, all of my big ones had shrunk in the washing machine, and they are all 1 inch too short. So I've got about 50 of them, which are now just too short, and I'm thinking, I don't know what to do with these. I thought, I'm going to bed. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to bed. And then I said to husband, as I was reading my book for a bit before going to sleep, and I said, what I actually might do is go and get some kids' fabrics and actually make a I do already have a small heat pack that I have been making, but I thought, well, I'll make some that are a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, and sell them off as more of a kid-friendly sort of size. It's not too small, not too big. We'll probably go for a medium heat pack. But yeah, I just can't believe it. The amount of fabric I used, the time I used, and then I did something as stupid as to shrink my fabric in the wash. But the funny thing is, it only shrank lengthwise by 1 inch, and it's not shrunk across the width of it. So the channel stitching must have actually just held the fabric in place for me. And it's like, oh dear, I can't concentrate, can't do this right now, let's just leave it. Well, there's all the lavender ones. So I'm actually being extra careful with everything I do, because I'm just having one of those weeks where if I do something, it's likely to be somewhat slightly wrong. I'm going to get this lavender one out of the way, and we'll go and get the black raspberry and cut that. The other thing that I was doing last night, it really has been so long since I did any sewing, and I was really, really struggling to actually cut the fabric for the top. It really didn't make sense to me, and I'm hoping I have cut it right. I've decided, well, we'll just go with it and we'll see what the top feels like. For those, I'm not going to turn this into a sewing channel, but maybe someone out there who does sew clothing can actually tell me what on earth was going on with this pattern. Normally when you get patterns for clothes, it tells you the best way in which to lay your fabric out and cut your patterns. Now, majority of the time it's a really good way, but occasionally you can actually lay them out and get even better cuts. But I thought, no, we'll do what the pattern's actually telling me to do. Oh, look at that one. But it was really, really odd. I couldn't work it out. When you've got patterns, you've got selvages, which are the ends of the fabric which have the nice, neat ends. They're the ones that go onto the loom, and they're always nice and finished. And generally, you put your selvages together, and then you have a fold. So you got your selvages here and your folds down here, and then you put your patterns against these folds. But the way it was telling me to lay my pieces onto the fabric, it had, we want selvage here and a fold this way, and I'm thinking that just doesn't make sense unless I'm actually got selvages and folding it across. It was really, really bizarre, and I tried looking it up on other videos to see how I was meant to cut this pattern, because it's all to do with how the fabric then actually sits with the bias. Ooh, look at that one. That one's really pretty. So yeah, it did take me ages to work that out. And when I did finally thought, well, we'll just go ahead and cut it. I've got plenty of fabric here. We'll see what it's like. And then I managed to get my back piece sewn onto what will be the upper back piece. And then I thought, oh, I need my overlocker. Can't be bothered to work out my overlocker right now. Because I thought, well, I'm using stretch knit, I'm going to have to find the right tension, I'm going to have to find the right differential feeds and all this sort of stuff. And I've had an overlocker when I was in high school. My mum bought it for me because I was sewing so many clothes and things. And I hated the thing. Always wanted an overlocker, but this overlocker, I'm sure it was a Friday lemon. You could never get the right tension on it. It constantly broke the threads. It was just an absolute nightmare to use, and it really put me off overlockers for a long time. But when I started sewing all of my heat packs, I love that, look at that. When I started sewing my heat packs, I actually did buy myself an overlocker because I thought it's going to give a much nicer finish. And this overlocker has been an absolute dream to use. But I was pretty put off last night. I'm thinking I'm using jersey knit. I'm going to have to find all the right tensions, and I just don't have the mindset for it last night. This morning, I thought, right, I'm going to get the overlocker out. I'll have a quick play with it. Do you know what? I only had to turn my differential feed, which is how the bottom feeds through the fabric. I only had to turn it one tiny little notch, and I had perfect stitching. It's always the way. The things that you think are going to be the most difficult things to do always prove to be the easiest. And if I'd actually just done it last night rather than being silly and putting it off, I probably could have had half my shirt sewn last night. So that's going to be the plan tonight when I get home, when we've had dinner and stuff. I'm going to go and have a good go at finishing this shirt or this top that I'm making. But anyhow, enough about sewing and stuff and all my mistakes. This swirl in this black raspberry is absolutely stunning. Definitely going to put a chopstick through this again next time I make it. The colours have also come out really nicely. So this is yes, this one's wrapped up and this one's a few months older, but you can actually see it's very plain drop swirls, whereas that one's got lots of beautiful curls and shapes, but absolutely loving. The colours seem to be a little bit bolder as well. I'm going to get the last bar of this cut up, and then I'm going to go and see if this lye water has cooled down enough so I can make these soaps. And yes, I've still been putting off making this perfume oil, so it is about 1:45. If by the time I finish making my other soaps I've got enough time, I will start making these perfume oils. All right, so I put those soaps away, and then I have just actually got on to doing this video with all of these different soap colors, and I've made some sample soaps over there. Very interesting results. Some of the results were not what I was kind of expecting. I do feel I might actually be putting some extra color into some of these infusions just to try and get a little bit more out of them. It's something that I've really got to learn how to play with, got to do a lot more research on them, but they're done, and it took me a lot longer than I was actually anticipating. So it's now about 3 o'clock and I still haven't done these perfume oils. Because it is 3 o'clock, I've only got an hour. I am actually going to leave it until tomorrow. It's going to be the first job I do in the morning, is get these perfume oils done. What I'm going to do for the rest of today is the other product I want to make is a foot spray, and I don't have any labels, no bottle labels for them. So what I'm going to do, I put off making that earlier because I didn't have the labels done up. I'm going to make the labels for the foot spray, and then tomorrow when I'm back in the shop, I will be doing the foot spray and the perfume oils. All right, I just got home, found my parcels on the doorstep, got a couple from Amazon, but I've also got this one here, which I've been waiting for feels like forever, but it really hasn't actually been forever at all. It's just because I so desperately wanted it. This is from Davina at Lovely Llama, and she does amazing soaps, and I've had some of her soaps before and I've shown them on here, but this is not soaps. Before Christmas she was posting reels and stuff about some new earrings that she was making, and I remember asking her, when are they going on the website? And she's finally put them on the website. So of course, because I do love my earrings, I ordered some, and there's more than some in this box. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Davina. The ones I really wanted that actually weren't on the website, she has actually popped a pair in here for me. I'll show you the ones I actually did order. Look at them. They're little clay earrings. How gorgeous are they? Little flowers with some tiny little bees on there as well. Absolutely gorgeous. The detail, like, I don't even know if the camera's really going to show them. Don't look at me. Look at the bees. You can see they've got tiny, tiny little eyes. The detail on them is absolutely stunning. Another pair I ordered. Now, of course, ordering from Lovely Llama, you have to have a pair of llamas. So I got those. I just absolutely love the detail in them. And the earring hardware on these are absolutely stunning. I've never seen anything like that before. I also ordered these. I absolutely loved these when I saw them. Little Highland cows. They are absolutely beautiful. And again, that level of detail that is in there is just absolutely stunning. They're a pair of hooks. And then another pair I ordered, yes. The snakes. I don't usually go for the snake design. I know they're really popular in earrings, but I don't usually go for them because I don't actually understand. I think they've got so many, but I really don't know. But I really, really loved the colours in here and the extra little detail of the little flowers and butterflies that are actually on the little snakes. So really, really loved those. And the other pair I ordered, these are lovely. Look at these, some bright purple daisies. They're going to be nice and long. These will be the sort of earrings I wear on the days when my hair is down and we're going out somewhere. I like the really long ones, but only if I've got my hair down. I don't think they look right when I've got my hair tied back, but love the colours in those. So I'll be wearing those when we go out to places. And then she's also snuck a couple of extras in here as well. I really like. These are just really different. Love the colour, the cameo colour going through it. And again, they're a pair of studs on the back. So they are absolutely gorgeous. I like how she's got all the silver lines through. And then when she posted the videos, the ones that I really fell in love with were the little gonks that she did. And when she loaded them on the website, there were no gonks. And I was really disappointed. I don't think I said anything to her. But I was really disappointed that there were none actually on the website. But look, she included a pair for me. How awesome is that? So go and check out Lovely Llama. Not only has she got stunning earrings, she has got beautiful soaps on there as well. Absolutely love her work. Thank you, Davina, for the extra little goodies in there as well. What will I be wearing tomorrow? Well, I suppose it really depends what outfit I pick out to wear. But I can actually see that hubby has just pulled in on the driveway. So I am going to sign off for the day. I am going to go and cook us some dinner. And then when I come back, I'm going to or when I've finished that, I'm going to have a little bit more of a sewing session tonight. And then we'll be back in the shop tomorrow. And hopefully I'll get lots of work done. I'm just packing up an order that's come in for Sharon. She's ordered some shampoo conditioners and some of the travel pots as well. So just getting that all packed up so we can take them to the post office this afternoon. I haven't done a lot of talking today, which is a surprise given how chatty the last couple of days have been. I came in this morning and I just thought, right, we've got to actually get some work done. I always find at the start of the year, because things are so slow, that the motivation isn't there to be working, so I keep putting stuff off and I don't do as much as what I possibly could be doing. And I thought, right, enough is enough. Get started with doing some of this stuff that I need to be doing. So I basically popped my podcasts on in my ears and I got onto making the perfume oils. So they're going to actually come in a box. This is one of the test ones. They'll be in a little roller perfume thing here. So that's those. They're all done up. I also have some little sample vials. I'm not going to open it because they tend to rip. No, this one's going to open. Ooh, they usually rip on me. But I've got some little sample vials to send out with some orders so people can have a bit of a smell of them as well in their orders. So I've got those ready to be sending out. Probably in next week's orders, I'll start putting them in so that by the time people get them, they should then start appearing on the website. So I got all of those done. The labeling took me forever. For absolutely forever to do the labeling. I had the perfumes done within an hour, but it probably took me another hour and a half to 2 hours to do all the labeling. And as well as that, I also made up my new foot spray, which I have to take home and get photos of. This is actually a recipe I did share with my Patreon members some time ago. It's available in the Patreon shop as well, and it's got all menthol crystal in it, peppermint oil, there's a bit of rosemary and lavender in there, and the idea is you spray it on the bottom of your hot feet. Hi George. I don't know if you can hear my phone tinging, but I know it's George messaging me. But the idea is you spray that on your feet in the middle of summer and it actually cools your feet down. There's lots of messages coming in from George there. So I have finally made this up, and I will be taking photos of them on Monday and trying to get them up on the website. I do actually have a few things on Tuesday, so I really only have Monday to get everything done. So I'll get as much as I possibly can done on Monday, and if it's not then, it will be the following week. My phone's just dinging away here. So that I got all that done. I am just, as I said, packing this order, and then I've got about an hour until I close the shop up, and I'm thinking I just need to do a bit of a top up of my soaking salts, my foot soak salts. I've redone all the labels on my foot range to include, I made up you can't really see it on here, but I've made up like a little background with little feet on them, and they're going on to all the labels. So I want to get a batch of the soaking salts done up with the new labels so that while I'm taking photos on Monday, I can also take photos of that, and then when the old ones, not old, but when the original labels have sold out, I'll swap the photo over so that people know what they are getting. But that doesn't sound like I've done a lot, but seriously, that labeling took me so long to do that I actually did achieve an awful lot today. I've also done all my washing up, which is out the back. I keep looking over here to see what else I've got on my bench. I'm trying to actually make sure I tidy my benches up before I go home, so it doesn't always look like a mess when I walk in here. I do have all of the little soap samples on my bench, which I think I actually might leave till tomorrow. It's been so hot and humid that they are still a bit sticky in the mold, so I'll leave them till tomorrow to finish the video off. And then I'll clean up the rest of this bench. But for now, what I'm going to do is finish popping this, print up my shipping label, and then do up a batch of the foot scrub, and then I'm going to head home and we're going to come back in for the weekend. I received notification that all of my new candle labels have been delivered today, so that will be what we're doing tomorrow. I am going to bring some wax in, bring some candle jars up from my storage downstairs, and tomorrow I'm going to smell the street out with my candles, because I also need to take photos of them on Monday too. All right, so what a morning it has been so far. I was editing the video this morning and I suddenly realized as I was getting towards the end of the day's footage, I never actually said the top that I was wearing yesterday, that orangey pinky swirly thing, that was the one I have been sewing for the last couple of nights, and I am so pleased with how it has come up. I think it's been 25 to 30 years since I've actually sewn a garment of clothing. It's very different to doing quilting and all that sort of thing. So it's the first thing I've done in a long time, and I am super happy with how it came out. It is really, really comfortable as well. So I am actually going to go and get some more fabric and make a couple more with a few little adjustments. You know, as I say, it has been a long time since I've done any sewing, and when I was doing it back in high school, things came to me automatically. You read the instructions and you think, okay, well, that's how, you know, they say to do it, but if I do it this way, it will actually sit nicer and that sort of thing. Things like doing some of the hems, like around my shoulders, they told me to do a narrow hem, and I did it, and then I thought, this is just going to constantly roll back on me. And when it came to doing the hem on the bottom of the shirt, I actually ended up thinking, I'm not going to narrow hem it. I'm going to use my overlocker to seal the raw edge and then fold that edge and stitch on it. And it's how you see some clothes in the stores as well. So I decided to do it that way. I thought I should have done my sleeves like that. So next time I'll do my sleeves that way. And I'll also actually alter the pattern to make it slightly longer, because I actually do want longer tops to wear with leggings. That's why I like the longer tops to wear with the leggings. I don't have the body to wear a pair of leggings and a tiny little tank top that has to be long and flowing. So I want to try and have a go at that. So yeah, that was my top. Super, super happy with it. I have just bought up over here a ton of candle jars and waxes, and that is going to be today's mission. I finally got my my new candle labels delivered. I was waiting to get the labels before making, because if I make them and then I haven't got the labels, I can't put them away and I've got nowhere to store them other than on the shelf. And you can't have a candle on the shelf without the labels. So the labels finally arrived yesterday. Australia Post was saying they weren't meant to arrive till next week, but they did actually arrive yesterday, which is really good. Oh, that's right. I also ordered cuticle oil labels. It's a big bug. Anyhow, I was doing my cuticle oils. I was using DTF print to put on the bottles, but they were just taking so long to do, and I originally did it that way because it was a more economical way than getting clear labels printed to go on them. However, when I sat down and I actually looked at the time it was taking me to put these DTF labels on, and how sometimes I didn't get them on quite accurately, I decided that printing or getting someone to do up my clear labels on the cuticle oils was a far better option. So I did that. And then we've also got some new candle scent. There's a restock of some of the ones that sell really quickly. So we've got a restock of them. And then we've got some new ones coming out, which I'm super excited about because I haven't actually released new candle scents in years. I've been retiring them to make sure that I had room on my shelf, but I've actually not had a permanent new scent in the range since before I opened up the shop, to be honest. I've said I would bring them out, and I've just never had that chance to bring them out because the ones I'm trying to get rid of just aren't selling quick enough to make space. But I do actually have two which have now almost sold out, so it's time to introduce some new ones. I am doing Sun-Kissed, and the other one I'm going to make up at the moment is Mango Cocoa. Both of these are available in my Bath & Body range, and people have really, really liked them. So I bought them out in the car air diffuser range. And then since doing that, I've had a ton of requests to bring them out in candles. So I'm going to do that. And I have got one other fragrance I'm waiting to sell out, and when it does, I'm going to bring out Elysian, which is again available in the hand creams and what else? Oh, in the soaps. It's in some of my soaps as well. It's just not called Elysian in the soaps at the moment. And I'm going to bring that out as a candle too. So I actually need to go and get my labels trimmed down so I can store them away. They come out on these big vinyl rolls. I use a company called ePrint here in Brisbane. Really love their customer service, love the quality of their printing, their turnaround. They're really helpful as well. If things aren't quite going smoothly, you can contact them and they help you get your labels all ready for print. So really actually like working with ePrints. So I'm going to go and get these trimmed down, get my bag put away, and then we're going to get some wax into that tank and we're going to start on candles today, and we're going to smell the street out. Oh, and that's the other thing. Yesterday when I was printing up the labels for the boxes on the perfume oils, I actually ran out of my 80ml label roll paper. So I bought some more of that down today so I can finish labeling up the perfume oils that I haven't done. Before I actually do get on to doing the candles, I need to finish packaging up my lavender and nettle foot soak. These will be the new labels that go out there. I'm hoping that at some point this year I can actually get my packs printed up, but we'll just see how the year goes. I did end up making the foot soak up, but in that sort of last half hour of being open yesterday, I got really busy, so I was able to get the salts actually made up, mixed together, but I wasn't able to get it packaged. So that will be my first job, and then we'll get onto all those candles. so I have just shut the door. I'm about to go home. It has been an awesome day in the shop. It really did do what I hoped it would do, making all the candles today. All those scents wafted out into the street. A lot of people came in, and quite a number of those people then bought candles as well. So really, really excited. Feeling really good. Really good way to almost end the week. Hopefully tomorrow will be another good day. So here are all the candles that I made today. Plus I've got a couple over on my other bench, which are refills for both my mum and I. But you can see we've got lots of restock going on in there. I had to really squish them together so I could get everything on here. The orangey one here, that is the Cocoa Mango. And then the yellow will be the Sun Kissed. I did have a bit of a problem in that I didn't realise I didn't have any spare bottles of Mango Cocoa and Sun Kissed down here. Luckily, I had enough of our Mango Cocoa, but not quite enough to do a complete range of the Sun Kissed for today in the candles. So tonight I'll go home and make sure to pick up a couple of extra bottles, and I want to make 2 more of the large ones to go on the shelf. So we start off with 4 large, 6 medium and 8 of the small, and that fills my shelf up there. I then also need to make the diffusers to go on the shelf with them as well. And then for my Pamper Club members in February, they'll actually be getting a free they'll be getting 2 free tea lights, maxi tea lights. Let's see if I've got one in here. So these are the maxi tea lights. They were in the advent calendars last year. So they're actually the same size as the small candles, but I do still have some of these maxi tea light cups left over from doing the advent calendar. So I'm going to make up one of each smell, the Cocoa Mango and Sunkissed, in the maxi tea lights. And then when my Pamper Club members place an order in February, they will get the 2 tea light candles automatically put into their order so they can have a smell of them in the new candles. But that is pretty much it for today. I'm going to head on home. It's starting to get a little bit grey and overcast out there. It's not too hot, thank goodness. Last night I got home at 5 o'clock and it was still 38 degrees Celsius. Absolutely insane. And when we went to bed last night, it was, I think it said 33, but feels like 37. It's like, we're going to have to put the aircon on. As much as I hate sleeping with the aircon, we can't sleep when it's 38, feeling like 38 degrees. So thankfully it is much cooler out there, so it should be a much nicer evening. But we'll be back in tomorrow for Sunday, the final day of my working week. And it is market day. Last week it wasn't very busy because of the weather, but hopefully we'll have a few more people out because it is also a long weekend, even though it's the end of the school holidays. So I'm going to head off home. All right, the day hasn't even started. I've got 10 minutes, but I've just completely worn myself out because I was being silly. I've just bought all this stuff up from the car, from the car. And instead of doing 2 trips, I decided to lug it all up the stairs in 1 trip. I'm a bit excited because, and small things make me excited, they just have to. I've just bought in the very last of my white paper bags. Originally, I had brown paper bags printed. And when I got them, there was nothing wrong with them, but I realized I should have got them done in white because the writing would come up clearer. On the brown, that it wasn't so clear. When I ran out of the brown, I actually did order myself some white ones, and then I realized that the company that I use to do these also does custom sized bags, and I did a vlog on it a little while ago. My big orange bags, I asked if they could do the same style of bag but this size, and they did. And I thought, I shouldn't have ordered the white ones, I should have just gone with those, but I needed bags, so kind of good job I did order them. But I have been patiently waiting to use all these white bags up so I can start using my my little orange bags, which will match my big orange bags. And I've just brought down the last lot of the white bags. So hopefully soon I will be able to start using my super cute little ones. So I brought those down. I also bought up from my storage shed downstairs some extra blocks of soy wax. I've bought up 3 packs, so it's about 6 kilos. I'm going to pop them in the tank, make the extra little candles I need to make today. And the other thing I dragged up was the extra fragrance oil, so we'll be able to finish off doing the sun-kissed, and then I'm going to do my Pamper Club. I was going to somehow combine Pamper and Patreon together, but it is my Pamper Club members. I'm going to make up their tea lights today as well, so I can take them home. Got lots of photography to do this weekend. I'm going to try and start some of it this afternoon, but it is very grey and overcast out there, so it's not very good photography weather. So hopefully, if I can't do it this afternoon, tomorrow will be really good. Get all the photos done, then I can spend time just editing them. But I'll have to get these candles done today so that we can do that. So what I'm going to do now, oh, my mind's just a whirlwind right now. I am going to go and get this lot put away. Will then be time to get the door open, and then we will get on to labelling all the candles that we made yesterday, get some wax melted and make those. So let's get on with this day. what a really disappointing day. Sundays have turned out to be my worst trading day since moving up here. I've not even had anyone in browsing the shop, and I think I've probably only had about 3 or 4 people actually walk past the shop today. One of the biggest problems is that up the top of the street, and I think I've mentioned this on the previous vlog, the building work that's down the road has stuck a sign up at the top of the street saying footpath closed, cross here, making them cross at the crossing up there, when the crossing down the street actually is open, and all of us little shops along here are missing out on all the Sunday walk by traffic because of this sign. And we've asked for it to be taken away and they won't take it away. It is so frustrating how much damage it's doing to the small businesses. But I have also noticed that Sundays have been my worst trading day, and I had said that when we first got up here I would, you know, test the waters and that sort of thing. And I am kind of now thinking that January I've not been able to do it because we've had so many things that we've had planned throughout the month that we always do on a Tuesday because it's the day that both hubby and I actually have together. But I think in January, February, what I'm gonna start doing is actually trialing opening up on a Tuesday and closing on a Sunday, because I can't just be sitting in here doing I can be sitting at home doing other work that I need to be doing, which I can't do down here at the shop. Though on saying that, because initially when I set up the shop, I said I'd set up the computer in such a way that I could actually sit and do work while I was in the shop as well. But for the last few months, I have had so many problems with the internet in this building. It's not been funny. I've been home in tears because of it. I have been so scared of losing business because of it, and there is just absolutely nothing that could be done. When I first moved into the shop, I was with Telstra, and within a couple of weeks of being in the shop, it died on me. I could not get any internet. I had to shut for about 3 or 4 days because my computers wouldn't work, the printers then wouldn't work, the FPOS machine wouldn't work, and I just couldn't get anything going in the shop. And I ended up, the people I was with were just hopeless. They couldn't give me any answers. So I ended up cancelling my account with them, and I got an Optus prepaid card, and that was working. I didn't want to go into any contracts with people. So I went with this Optus prepaid broadband mobile, and it worked for quite a number of weeks. And then all of a sudden the service got slower and slower and slower. And I was speaking to the girls next door in the hairdressers, and they said everyone is experiencing the same thing, and they had people piggybacking off their internet because they were getting slightly better reception than some further down. And then all of a sudden it just gone. There were days I'd come in and I would have no internet, and it wasn't just I didn't have my mobile broadband internet on the computer. My phone wasn't even connecting to the mobile network. Now some people will be saying, well, just get the NBN. I can't get the NBN. There is no NBN in this building, and I have spoken to 4 different service providers, and none of them will put NBN into this building, even though I know that my neighbours on that side have had NBN put in, but they will not do it for this shop or the shops up that way, even though we're part of the same complex. It's ridiculous. So I'm stuck with mobile broadband. And there was one day I came in the shop, nothing was working. My phone wasn't working. The only thing I could do on my phone was make phone calls. Couldn't even get on to Google on my phone, nothing. And that was not connected to my Wi-Fi. And I spent just over an hour on the phone with Optus, trying to get him to understand, because it's so hard. You end up in some other country, and it was so hard. He kept saying, well, what sort of phone do you have? And I told him, and he said, oh, well, it's not your phone. I said, no, it's not my phone, so don't go blaming my technology. There is something wrong with your mobile data service, because it is both my broadband Wi-Fi and my internet, my phone as well. And all he said, oh, we'll send a technician out to the tower. And I thought, well, that's no good, because they were actually doing maintenance on it just before Christmas anyway. I do know, I had heard from a few other shops that the that the towers actually got hit by lightning late last year, and Telstra apparently has refused to fix them again. Why they don't put a lightning rod up or something to detract the lightning away from it, I do not know. But that was one of the reasons people believe it stopped. So they said they were going to send someone out to have a look at these towers, and I'm thinking, yeah, right, for one little person, they're going to send someone out to these towers and have a look. And I spent the next 2 days just so completely and utterly stressed. Because the thing is, I could get just enough service on the EFTPOS machine that it was taking payment, but it was really, really slow. And we as a society have got really bad at going into a store, we put stuff down to purchase it. Before anyone's ever given a card, they take those products back off the person before they've paid for it, like it's their right to have the products before they've paid for it. And then they tap the card and they walk off. It's like, no, you have to wait for the machine to actually finish cycling and say that your transaction is approved before you can just take the goods and walk off. And I actually did have someone do that to me, and they walked out the door and the machine hadn't even finished. And I was just so stressed, and I didn't know how to, and he'd been quite rude to me in the shop as well. He'd asked a question, I went to answer it, and he said, you know what, I really don't care. And so he was actually quite rude. So I didn't feel that I could actually stop him from walking out of the shop either. Thankfully, the transaction went through, but I have had a couple of people who have just tapped the card and walked off, and their partners have said, hang on, it's not gone through yet, and made them stop. So it was creating a whole lot of stress. I was going home in tears almost every day from it, not having anything on there. And then I came in one day and everything was working. It was like, what? And what I noticed on my phone was that the network, because up in the top corner it tells you what network you're connected to, and all of a sudden my phone's connected to the 5G network, and it's never connected. I've been told there's no 5G where I am, and all of a sudden my phone's connected to the 5G network, and I'm thinking, okay, gone home thinking this is pure fluke. Came in the next day, and as I was driving in, I'm thinking, it all started to go really, really, really wrong when they turned the 3G network off. And I'm thinking, I wonder if someone's pushed the wrong button and actually stopped whatever technologies it is coming down this bit of the street. It was like we went from being able to get mobile phone access to being in a black spot. It was just absolutely insane. But I came in the next day and it was all working, and it actually took me probably 4 or 5 days of coming into the shop, holding my breath while I booted everything up to see if everything was working. But thankfully, the internet is now working. It's still not the best. We never get excellent when you look at your mobile thing. We never, ever, ever get excellent in here. But we do get anywhere from fair to good, and that is enough for me to operate. I can get the EFTPOS machine working, I can get the computer turned on to use my point of sale. As long as I don't overload the amount of stuff that's on it, it works. But I can tell you what, those few weeks, really, really stressful. So I've not even been able to do any extra work on Sundays when I come into the shop. I just basically sit here. If I've got nothing to make, I've got nothing to do. So I've been reading a book. But now the internet's back, I can actually sit there and do some of the work I would be doing at home. But anyway, after 10 minutes of yakking to you about my internet problems, I think what we're going to trial in February, I can't do it this week because again we've got something on Tuesday, so I actually can't come into the shop on Tuesday. I think as of next week I'm going to close on the Sunday, close up early on a Saturday. I'm usually open till 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and I don't get anything after 2 o'clock because all the other shops in the high street shut at 2. Well, a majority of them do. So I'm thinking I'll close at 2 on Saturday, close on Sunday, and then come in on the Tuesday and see what the foot traffic's like during the week. I just think being in a touristy town, there's more people out during the week. Anyhow, we'll see what happens. I did go round, I put into my my planner what I need to do for next week. I did almost everything I did write down that we had to do this week, except for 2 things. Where's my list? I put down with the perfumes, and not only am I going to do it as a roller, I'm also going to do a solid perfume because I love solid perfumes. And the other thing I said to do was a night cream, but I put off making the night cream because I'm contemplating actually retiring that from the range. I absolutely love my night cream. It is expensive because it's got some really expensive oils and butters in it. And on top of that, cocoa butter is, cocoa butter has gone through the roof, and it's really hard to find as well. And this night cream has a good portion of cocoa butter in it, which means I'm going to have to push the price up even more. And people don't want to pay the price as it is at the moment. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to retire that from the range once the pots I've got there have gone. I think I might actually get rid of it. So there's only really the solid perfumes I didn't do. But on saying that, we didn't write any of those candles down on the list of things to do. So I actually did get something else done in its place. So I've moved my solid perfumes over to next week. I need to make some new scents in the car diffusers because we've run out of black raspberry, vanilla and mango cocoa. I'll make the diffusers for the new scents next week as well, and I've got a couple of soaps to make. So I've written everything down to keep me busy for next week, but as it is right now, I'm going to go home. I need to stop off at Bunnings because Miss Pepper has taken to digging. She's the first dog we've had that digs, and it's driving hubby potty. It really is. I had to try not to laugh at him. I promise I'll stop yakking in a minute, but I had to try and not laugh yesterday because I knew how frustrated he was. We'd come home, well, he got home before me. When I got home, he was sitting in the front yard with this little Chihuahua dog, and he's sitting there, and I'm, what you got there? We got another dog, have we? He said, no, it was just in the front yard when I got home. He said, I had to go out and I came back and found the dog. I went, okay, let me go and park the car up, because at this point I'm sitting in the middle of the street about to reverse my car. So let me park the car up and I'll come back down. So I went back down to him, and he said he was just posting it on the local page. He'd been and spoken to a couple of people, didn't know whose dog it was. And I said, oh, when Lucy and I go walking in the morning, that house down the street, they've got some small yappy dogs. Sorry if you've got a Chihuahua. It was just the only way I could think of to actually explain to hubby that I think it's the house down there. So off we tootled down the street, went and knocked on the door, and yeah, sure enough, it was their dog. So we returned, little Coco was her name. So we returned her, came back, and I said, why did you have to go back out? And he said, she's dug in the garden again. She's dug these massive holes. She's dug in it ever since we've brought her home. There's like a patch next to the patio. She keeps digging up, and we had put chicken wire and pegged it all down, but she's managed to get all the pegs out the ground, lifted the chicken wire and dug this massive hole. So he was really upset that she's dug this hole, despite the fact she's got dozens of toys. So she's dug this hole. He's gone out to get these pegs. The local Mitre 10 was shut, so he couldn't get any. He's come home, found this dog. And then I said, look, I'll go and get a few bits and pieces together. I'll come and help you in a minute. And I've gone out to go and get those white bags, and I've come back into the house, and he's sweeping up the dirt back into this hole. And then as he swept, the broom's just gone and broken. It's like, you're not having a good night, are you? Poor thing. So tonight on my way home, I actually need to go and stop and get some more of these ground pegs. We only had a couple to put in this fencing bit originally, so we think if we actually double up and put a ton of pegs in there, she won't be able to dig it up. Oh, it was funny. She's a little terror at the moment. We just keep thinking up until 3 years old, and then they should settle down. We've only got another 2.5 years to go. Anyhow, that is it. I'm going to stop boring you. That is about 15 minutes worth of yakking to you. I'm going to head home, as I said, stop in Bunnings, and then I will finish editing the video and get it up for you. So I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. Until I bring the next video out, I hope you have a good one. I'll see you then. Bye.